So making the transition from youth action to independent activist. What I found is that we have these youth action boards, right? Or we want to recruit people for the youth action boards. But what I haven't found that we do well is how to transition people from the youth action boards, right? What do we do when these young people reach those magical ages of 24, 25, and 26, right? And probably as you remember, I know I do, when I reached my magical age of 21, right? The switch turned and I was able to drink and there was opportunities, right? However, for young people, right, turning 24, 25, or 26 in that transition age, oftentimes there's nothing there afterwards. So some objectives for transitioning from a YAB, setting up transition and expectations, offboarding process should be in place, success after the Youth Action Board, and there should be support and next steps. So, setting up the transition, items to consider, relief of duty and transitioning of roles, right? So if the Youth Action Board has a chair member and they're turning 25, right, that chair member should be responsible or at least have some role in choosing who succeeds them, right? Give their roles to someone incoming. There should be leadership development, resume building. There should be an alumni network that gets set up, right? It's not enough to just say goodbye, right? But there should be something afterwards. Collaborative effort, right? So we always talk about collaboration. There should be young people collaborating with some older adults who might have a little bit more knowledge on how that process might be able to get set up a bit better. That can look like an offboarding or a graduation day, right? Allow for YAB members to hand off duties and responsibilities. I know I put that twice. Future opportunities for YAB members to continue advocacy or career opportunities in the community and ongoing support. It's a lot to ask a young person to already show up and then give them some tools and training and then just to say, okay, goodbye, right? Especially when that young person is a great activist, right? When they have strong advocacy skills. It's not enough to just drop them off like that. When we talk about resume building, for that young person who may not have had a job before and they've learned a lot of on-the-job training, right? That's skills, right, to help them put on a resume, right? That makes them a bit more employable, either for your organization, hopefully, and or another organization. An alumni network, can't stress that enough, right? It's not enough to just drop people off and say, right, goodbye, especially when we've invested in developing skills for them, right? So we should have an alumni network. Serve as a professional support network, ongoing support for incoming YAB members, right? We often talk about how do we recruit? If we have alumni recruiting, right? Young people saying, hey, this was my experience, this is how you can do this, and also let me train you. Look at these wonderful people here. So I put this in here not just because I wanted to see them, but I also wanted you to see them as well. And when I look at this picture and I think about how when I met a lot of these young people, when we met each other, where we were until where we are now, and most of us all, I think everyone in this picture is actually employed either in a field or in a support field, so kudos to that. Hello. So National Youth Forum on Homelessness, obviously we like to think like we really set a good model, right? So that's 21 to 28. A lot of the times youth action boards end around 24, 25, 26. We're a bit more liberal in those ages. Offers ongoing capacity building and leadership opportunities on the forum. There's always something to be learned. There's always a way to increase our capacity and learn more. National, state, and local opportunities. Additionally, as well, we'd like to go to a model where we can create local or regional opportunities as well. Look at that guy. So obviously, most of this is coming from my perspective, but also working in communities with youth action boards, I just kind of saw a need to talk a little bit more about us being intentional, about not only creating a youth action board, but also making certain there's something for young people after they transition out of the youth action board, instead of just saying goodbye to them or not setting them up properly to understand that there's going to be a transition and what that should look like, what that can look like. Go again, there's supposed to be words. Most importantly, most importantly, I just want to reiterate that we're not dropping young people off, that we're also making certain that if we taught them tangible skills, that we actually allow for those skills to be utilized after they reach that age that we like to just say goodbye to. And also we offer a support network for those young people afterwards. And That way, not only they can continue their advocacy, but if they're interested, find employment in the field, right? If we're going to talk about giving more seats at the table, we need to make certain that those seats are provided to young people. So that's my time.